We're honored to have the District Attorney, Mike Kage, here this morning. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Mike?
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the November 20th, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3, alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First item of business, please.
Item 1, proclamations, presentations. Presentation of the County Public Improvement Award, first place in the 10,000 and over population category for the Northwest Carlson Road Bridge over the Kansas River project, chosen by the American Council of Engineering Companies of Kansas. Tom Block, Public Works Solid Waste.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Black, Public Works and Solid Waste. As mentioned in the description, and as you're aware, that we've been working on this Willard Bridge project for the last several years, and as we've been going throughout the project, we've indicated it's gone quite well, and it truly has been a wonderful project. Well, we have been recognized for all of our efforts on the project. Last week, we attended the Kansas Association of Counties conference, and at that conference, we were awarded first place for the best project for 2017 for counties 10,000 and over in population. I will read it to you. It says Kansas County Public Improvement Awards 2017, first place, 10,000 and over population to Shawnee County, Northwest Carlson Road Bridge over Kansas River, presented by the American Council of Engineering Companies of Kansas, with the engineering firm of Finney and Turnipseed and the contractor of AM Coron. So it is with my pleasure to present this to you on a project well done by everyone involved. And you all know all the effort and all the folks that were involved to get this project implemented and through completion. And so we're just really pleased to be able to present this to the commission on a job well done and leading us through this project. So with that, I'd like to give this all to you.
I'm sure Commissioner Bueller would like to say a word or two as being a champion of the Willard Bridge and worked tirelessly on getting this project completed.
It's nice to see that our work was acknowledged, and it was great to receive the award in front of all of our colleagues from across the state in Kansas counties. It was kind of nice. I've always sat at those luncheons and thought, wow, it'd be really nice to win that award, and so we did it. But great effort and such hard work from everyone who's been involved. And every day I go past there, I continue to pray for everyone's safety, and we're still working on dismantling the old bridge. So the project's not completely finished yet, but yeah, it's very nice. So congratulations, Tom, to all your crew as well. So.
Yes. Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Questions or comments? There were 2 items on the consent agenda.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $2,453,840.04. I might note before we begin that this is, we did not have any meetings or any vouchers last week. So this is actually 3 voucher reports instead of what would be 1. The highlights were payroll, $595,155.78. The district court, $89,643.33. Department of Corrections, $155,694.83. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas, motor vehicle, $610,336.09. Health insurance premiums for our employees, $192,728.12. Public Works, $211,562.85. Parks and Recreation, $124,079.95. And then finally, R.D. Johnson, which was excavating at the Timber Ridge subdevelopment, of $196,443.64. I do not have any questions regarding the vouchers and would move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the voucher report by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the correction orders by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, emergency management. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C 413-2017 with the Kansas Department of Emergency Management for grant funding in an amount of $102,200 to provide training on hazardous material incidents and approval of request to solicit a request for proposals to allow emergency management to hire contractors.
Morning, Commissioners. Nelson Castile, Emergency Management. This is a grant like we put in last year for the Operation Pegasus component of emergency management and exercises. This is the second year of the Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant. The years are 17, 18, and 19. This would be for 18. This one consists of 4 training sessions spread between now and September 30th of 2018, I guess it would be the end of the federal fiscal year. And we would go back out for bid like we did for the exercises and use those RFPs. We have to fall within accordance with what the grant guidelines are, which there's quite a few in there related to procurement and training, but we also follow what the Shawnee County purchasing policy is as well.
Questions for Nelson on the contract?
I'll move for approval.
Nice. I'll second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook. That was seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Nelson. Next item, please.
C, Court Administration. Number 1, consider transferring a total amount of $88,909.30 from the court's 2017 fiscal year budget into the Special Project Fund for cyclical maintenance.
Good morning, Charles Hydovitz, District Court. This is our second year of our cyclical maintenance program of renovating the courtrooms. This year we did Divisions 1, 3, 8, 11, 10, 13, B22, and Suite 406. We're going to plan on doing Divisions 2, 6, 9, and 14 this next year. We've planned for this and we budgeted for it. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to start it right away. We're not going to be able to start until Judge Hendricks retires mid-March, and that will initiate the entire process. So what we're asking is for you to allow us to transfer those funds into the special project fund that was previously established in 2016 for 2017. I have spoken with Director Greiner, and she has no problems with it. The line account is already set up, so we're just transferring these funds, and once the projects occur, the invoices will be debited from that.
Yeah, I think this is a common practice that we've used in other departments. I don't have an issue with it, and I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Ron.
Sir. Next item, please.
Item D, District Attorney. Number 1, consider approval of request for additional funding of $200,000 for staff costs due to the district court expanding from 5 to 6 criminal divisions with funding from the 2018 General Expense Contingency Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Kage, District Attorney. First off, I would like to extend my personal congratulations on the award and the work that Tom did. I grew up driving over the old bridge, and it was always a little bit of an adventure. Been over the new bridge a few times already. It's very smooth, very nice, very well done. I'm here before you today in support of this request, and as I detail in the memo, this rose out of an unforeseen realignment in the adult felony criminal divisions here in Shawnee County District Court. I was notified subsequent to the approval of the 2018 budget that the expansion would be from 5 criminal divisions to 6 in the adult felony world, and I have some corresponding staffing needs that go along with that. Typically, each of those divisions cost me about $250,000 to staff. And this commission was generous in the approval of the 2018 budget and giving me an additional $50,000 to be used on some other things. But I'm going to go ahead and use those funds to help staff this new division. The additional $200,000 that I'm asking for from the contingency fund would be used to procure a senior level prosecutor and a junior level prosecutor. Typically, a senior prosecutor salary and benefits cost me about $125,000, and a entry-level prosecutor would be about $75,000 all told. So that is the basis for the request, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Questions for the district attorney? Commissioner Cook?
Just, to kind of make sure that we're recapping, due to the additional criminal assignment or criminal judge, you're wanting to have additional staff to meet those needs of the judge. Is that roughly what we're looking at here?
Well, if I can expand on that a little
Yes.
bit, it's my understanding that the judges here, and by correspondence, my office has the highest caseload of any court in the state. And so I don't think it's an unreasonable thing for the judges to take a civil position and convert that to a criminal one. And as far as how we staff our cases and how we assign prosecutors, we assign 2 prosecutors to each of the criminal divisions for scheduling purposes and for managing that caseload. And so because the court has made that move, I'm wanting to make a corresponding move in my office so that we can adequately prosecute those cases and ensure public safety in the community.
Okay.
From what I understand our discussion, it is changing a civil court to a criminal court. Civil court not costing anything for the DA's office, but the criminal court is.
That's correct. The DA's office is not tasked with doing anything in the civil world aside from sync cases, and this does not affect any of those. This is a civil judge position which has no bearing on our office being converted into a full-time adult felony criminal position, which has a lot to do with our office.
Okay. I'll move to approve and note that that's why we set contingency funds aside, is to have money when extraordinary and unforeseen things happen. And this is a great example of that. So I'll move to approve.
I'll second, but I will say thank you to you that you brought this to our attention individually shortly after
Right.
the budget was set, and you were very concerned. And so I appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
And working with our finance team, too. That's
That's definitely.
noticed and appreciated.
Yep.
Thank you.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, DA. Next item, please.
Item E, Health Department. Number 1, consider approval of request to fill 1 maintenance technician to courier position at a salary including benefits of $47,954, and approval to fill any positions that become vacant as a result of filling this one.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Edith Matthews, the Finance Officer with the Health Department. And this request is to fill a position that was vacated by a retiring employee earlier this year. The position would assist our current maintenance tech crew leader in the grounds, the facility and grounds upkeep of our Health Department facilities. The position would also take on the additional duties of the courier that would serve not just the Health Department, but a couple of other county departments as well. And so this position is $47,954, which is already in our 2017 and 2018 budgets.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Bueller, and that was seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please. Thank you, Edith.
Number
Next
2, consider approval of request to reclassify the Family Services Division Manager to Clinical Services Division Manager, and to fill this position at a salary including benefits of $72,477, and approval to fill any positions that become vacant as a result of filling this position.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oakes from the Health Department. This division manager position is actually mine. It was the one that I am vacating as become director. This position oversees the WIC program, immunization program, the sexually transmitted infection clinic, the communicable disease program, and the tuberculosis program. So it's a pretty big division. It is included in the 2017 and 2018 budgets, and what I failed to put in the memo is it is funded 45% by the WIC fund, the WIC budget, so it's not all tax allocation. And the reclassification is just a name change. Family Services Division, that's kind of an old name. I haven't used that in a long time, so we just want to make it official. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Linda?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Linda.
Commissioner.
Next item, please.
Item F, Public Works, Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to purchase 6,500 cubic yards of haydite lightweight aggregate material for chip seal road maintenance work from Buildex, Inc., at a cost of $48.10 per cubic yard, for a total not to exceed $312,650, with funding from the 2018 Public Works Road Maintenance Fund.
Commissioners, Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. And earlier this year, actually it was toward the end of last year, we went out for bids for haydite material, which is lightweight aggregate material that we use for our chip seal roads. And that order was filled, and we used that material for our chip sealing for this past summer's work. As I've mentioned before at this podium, the haydite material is in a short supply, and I'm getting a little concerned about its availability into the future. Our supplier, Buildex, who we bought the material from this past year, contacted us here a week or so ago and indicated they had some excess of the material that we purchased from them, and has offered to sell us that excess at the unit price that we purchased this last year. So in an attempt to acquire as much of that material as possible going into next year, I would like to, my request is to purchase the excess amount they have up to 6,500 cubic yards. I don't think they actually have that amount. They may. But 6,500 cubic yards is the amount we would use for all of next summer's work. So in an effort to try to get ahead of the curve a little bit for next summer, I'm requesting that we be able to buy the excess from Buildex at the unit price that we purchased from them last year. The funding for this, the delivery would not come until after the new year, so the payment and all that would come out of 2018's road maintenance budget, which we have accounted for. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next item, please.
Item G, Corrections. Number 1, consider approval of a request to solicit bids for the purchase of inmate clothing and supplies with funding from the 2018 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Excuse me. This is Brian Cole, Department of Corrections. This is just our annual request to be able to seek approval through your board to go out and get bids for all of the supplies that we buy for the inmates. We do this each year to be able to get the best unit prices we can for inmate jumpsuits, the things that we need to buy for the inmate care and facility. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Mr. Cole?
No, I move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider approval of a request to develop specifications and solicit bids for the removal of texture insulation from the Sallyport garage ceiling to be funded from the 2017 capital outlay request approved in November 2016.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole again. This is a request to go out and develop specifications and solicit bids for the removal of the texture insulation that was in the garage Sallyport of the Department of Corrections. This is the original insulation that was there on the ceiling, and through over the years, approximately, from 1988, we're looking at 29 years, almost 30 years, through the selling of the facility and the vibration of the floors up above it, some of this patch stuff starting to fall away from the ceiling. Not only does it look bad, I think it can be a hazard for vehicles to drive over. It's not asbestos or anything like that. But this was something that was talked about and approved through the capital outlay request in 2016, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions regarding?
And this is just to solicit bids, yeah?
Yes.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Brian.
Thank
Next
you.
item, please.
Item H, Sheriff's Office, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-414, 2017 with Tyler Technologies for annual maintenance of software used for the record management system at a cost of $346,171, with costs shared between the Sheriff's Office, Shawnee County Department of Corrections, Topeka Police, and the Topeka Fire Department, with funding from the 2017 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Hubler with the Sheriff's Office. This is just our annual maintenance agreement renewal with Tyler/New World Records Management and our CAD software that covers almost all public safety in Topeka, Shawnee County. Be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
What year is this in the contract, Captain?
We've had New World as our RMS for well over 15 years. We switched to the MSP platform in 2012, I believe.
Okay. Other questions for Captain Hubler?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-415, 2017 with Tyler Technologies for annual maintenance of software used for the equipment vehicle tracking module at a cost of $6,930, with funding from the 2017 budget.
Again, Commissioners, this is a maintenance contract with Tyler Technologies. This particular module is something the Sheriff's Office uses to manage our inventory, not only the vehicle parts additions that we make to our vehicle, special equipment for law enforcement vehicles, but also for individual officers' equipment, so that we can have a better accounting of where that equipment is. That way, when somebody quits, retires, et cetera, leaves the service, that we know exactly what they have, when it was assigned, and it also helps for budgeting purposes, so we know the length of time each officer's had each piece of equipment.
I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item I, Information Technology, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-416, 2017 with Alexander Open Systems, amendment to contract C-320, 2016 for 3 years maintenance for support of the core network switches used in the county computer network at a cost of $22,262.76, with funding from the 2017 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Pat Oblander with the Information Technology Department. This item represents the annual maintenance that we pay for some core networking equipment. There's about 9 devices on this list of items that are supported. Typically, we renew this a year at a time because the equipment, sometimes the mix of equipment that's on the list sometimes changes. But after looking at this year's list, we realized that these items will be in production for the next 3 years, no question about it. So we're comfortable that renewing this for a 3-year interval is a good move. And it has the added benefit of saving us $600 over the course of the 3 years. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Questions for Pat? I'll move to approve the contract.
A second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider approval of request to purchase 700 Microsoft Office 2016 standard licenses from Software House International using State of Kansas contract pricing at a cost of $170,100 with funding from the 2017 budget.
Commissioners, this item is part of the ongoing technology refreshment program that we engage in every year. This year, we're focusing on software purchases to try to make sure that we keep all of our software licenses up to date. We've been using older versions of Microsoft Office on about 700 computers. It's time to get those upgraded. We have money built into the IT budget to handle these expenses. We will be purchasing Microsoft Office Standard as opposed to Microsoft Office Professional as we've done in the past. We've found that the vast majority of people that use Microsoft Office do not need the access component, the part that allows you to build personal databases. And so if they're not using it, let's not pay for it. So we are buying the standard version, which represents a savings of a couple of $100s per licenses. So some savings to be had there, quite a bit of savings actually to be had there. We do have some people that use the Microsoft Access component, but over the last few years, as we buy new computers, we have been buying newer versions of Microsoft Office, and we will be able to continue using those to support those few users that do use that. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
I do have one question. Pat, I noticed on the invoice from SHI, the total amount was $172,100, and it included non-touchscreen facilities for $2,000. So I assume the total is $172,100.
The total is $170,100. The item that you see on there was another item that was for a separate purchase that's not
Okay.
included in this.
It's not included in the...
Correct.
Okay,
I
very good.
apologize for that. We didn't get a clean quote for you to look
That's
at.
okay. I just wanted to make sure the record reflected
Yeah.
what we were doing. Questions for Pat?
I have none. I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you,
Next
Commissioners.
item, please.
Item J, Facilities Maintenance. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-417, 2017, with Minnesota Elevator, Inc. for replacement of the CPU in elevator number 3 at a cost of $3,387 with funding from the contingency fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. The DSP board, or the Digital Supply or Digital Signal Processor, which you recently approved that we put in that elevator to get it going, works, but the central processing unit that was getting a signal from it is no longer working. Therefore, we now need the central processing unit on elevator 3 to get that elevator hopefully finally up and running again. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Bill?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider approval of a request to solicit proposals to provide and install a new emergency escape hatch from the sub-basement to the sidewalk area of the northwest parking lot.
Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. During the process of redoing the parking lot and some of the sidewalk up on the northwest side, the emergency escape hatch that comes out of the Emergency Operations Center via a vertical shaft and a ladder, which it's why it's an emergency escape hatch. We found that it's, after 50 years, pretty rotted and rusted and deteriorated pretty badly, and I think it would be a good time to go ahead and replace it. We did have Mohan Construction look at including that in a change order, but the price of that change order, to me, was extremely cost prohibitive, and I think we can do it much cheaper. So, just looking to get some proposals to see what it would take to replace that hatch.
What was the cost from Mohan?
Over $20,000. And the hatch itself is about $3,000. I've priced the hatch itself, so.
Okay. Questions?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 3, consider approval of request to repair the emergency generator at the election office with funding of $1,000 from contingency funds.
Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. Over at the elections office, the emergency generator was hit by vandals or thieves to try to steal some of the copper out of it. Our electrician has been able to repair it, and it is up and running now. But as we went through kind of on an emergency purchase to get the things necessary to get that thing running again, we've got invoices on materials totaling just shy of $1,000. I expect maybe one more to come in. I don't think we'd get to $1,000 on this, so kind of up to $1,000 is what I'm asking for approval. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions on this purchase? I'll move to approve the request.
I'll second, but asking about just security around that area then.
We have improved that. I don't believe anybody that ever tries to hit that generator is going to be able to even get it open now. Won't divulge our secrets, but we have a way that the only way you're going to get it is actually start from the inside. Everything else is now bolted and cross-membered and barred, and I'm very confident that it's going to take somebody with a cutting torch to get in there at this point.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 4, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-418-2017, amendment to Contract C-70-2017, change order number 2 with Mohan Construction encompassing 8 contract revisions, resulting in an increase of $17,419 for a final contract price of $517,213 and a revised date for substantial completion of December 22nd, 2017, with revisions as follows. A,
Oh, go ahead.
the addition of 30 cubic yards of flowable fill to the subgrade of the northeast parking lot. B, revisions to the vent piping necessary for the proper operation of the emergency generator day tank. C, LED light fixtures on the existing parking lot light poles. D, asphalt patching in alley adjacent to northwest parking lot. E, additional joint sealant in existing granite slabs. F, electrical service disconnect at main EOC condensing unit. G, electrical service disconnects at 7 each VRF units in the EOC. And H, 2 additional electrical circuits for day tank pumps.
Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. Chris stole my thunder. All of those 8 items are the 8 items that are on this particular change order. The 3 big ones are the flowable fill used in the northeast parking lot when we found the void underneath around the drain area. The vent tank piping modifications to make sure that the day tank for the emergency generator gets its diesel fuel properly and can flow through that system. Decided on an upgrade to the Cobra head lighting that we have in the parking lots. And the other 5 are a lot less expensive. The asphalt patching, as they went from the concrete to the brick in the alley, which our neighbors now are also doing some work over there. We had some additional joint sealing at the granite slabs for a cost of $343. The disconnects on the main condensing unit and the VRF units were City of Topeka inspectors required those after they came in and looked at the final completion of those. So we have a pretty much a code violation, which I negotiated between our designers saying, okay, if we would have needed those particular disconnects, however, you guys should have caught that in the design work, so they're eating the labor portion of that, we're eating the material portion of that. And the final one was the electrical circuits on the Daytech pumps. Again, that was a design issue, and our cost on the particular circuits is $102 in material, and Latimer, Summers, and Slemons are paying for the labor cost of that, which changes the entire contract price now to $517,213, and that will be the end of the Northwest, Northeast, and EOC project, outside of their final payment, which we're holding for contingency. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Are there questions?
No.
No questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0, and I'm glad that's over. Next item, please.
Me too. Thank you.
Item K, Counselor, number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2017-75, authorizing judicial tax foreclosure proceedings against various tracts of land.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Krause, Shawnee County Counselor. As indicated by the clerk, this is a request from the County Counselor's Office to allow us to initiate tax foreclosure proceedings. It is our least favorite part of the job, but I don't see, there's Mike. If I don't do it, he can have me removed from my position and prosecute me. So I'm required to take this step, and I hope that you will approve that this morning.
Well, given the severity of the consequences, I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion made to adopt the resolution by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Next item.
Item L, Administrative Services, number 1, update on revenue and expenses as of October 31st, 2017.
Good morning, Betty Greiner, Director of Administrative Services. I'm here today with your financial overview for October 31st of 2017. I will start with the revenues. I guess I won't start that way with the revenues. Okay, we will do it the old-fashioned way. There we go. Through October 31st, our year-to-date revenues were $100,539,136. That is over our budget for that same time period of $141,207, which on a $103 million budget is a very small amount. It's 0.14%. And what this means is we have received 97% of our revenue for the year. I'll go through each category. The first category is property tax revenue. We have received $79,654,493. That is $419,000 under what was budgeted. But not a whole lot of change on this from last year. We had a small distribution in October, and we did make a little bit of that variance up. Next category is other taxes. We've received $11,036,077. That is $106,286 under what we had budgeted, and that is all due to the city-county highway tax that we received from the state. That actually came in less than had been budgeted. Next is property-related fees. We've received $1,650,386. That is $356,000 over what we had budgeted. And even just in the month of October, we were $49,000 over what was budgeted. So as you can see, the real estate market seems to be doing much better than we had expected. and there have been more mortgages filed. Next category is charges for services. We've received $4,018,440. That is $549,000 under what was budgeted. Parks and Rec is $422,000 under what was anticipated, and then the Sheriff's Department processing fees is $50,000 under. Next, the other revenue category, we've received $4,179,741. That is $860,000 over what was budgeted. That is, those variances come from investment income that is higher because rates have been higher than we had been in prior years, and then also defeasance revenue. This is just a pie chart that shows the percentages of where our revenue has come from. You can see 79% of our revenue has come from property taxes. Other taxes, 11%. Property-related fees, 2%. Charges for services, 4%. And miscellaneous revenue of 4%. Any questions on the revenue? Okay, we will go on to the expenditure side. Through October 31st, our expenditures were $84,665,678. That is $2,085,000 over what was budgeted. We will go through each of these categories and show you where those differences are. But this chart just really shows you the different categories and how the total expenditures are broken down between those categories. The first category is public safety. We have spent $35,540,842 in that category. That category is $1,005,000 under budget. That is made up of basically two big variances. One is the Department of Corrections is $425,000 under what was budgeted this year. In looking at this and with talking with Brian and Eve at the jail, almost all of that is attributable to medical. We have the responsibility of medical expenses for the inmates, and that fluctuates up and down and up and down. Right now, they are $433,000 under budget in that health division. Now, that can change tomorrow, and in fact, he was just telling me that they have some medical expenses right now with inmates that are higher than normal. So all of their variance is attributable to that medical costs. But even with that, if you look at this, we have spent $1,288,000 more in this category than we spent last year for the jail. The next variance is in the sheriff's office, which they are $558,000 under budget through the end of October. But a couple of items that we know are coming. You have approved $150,000 to be spent on KP&F payoff, which is has not been paid yet in this, and then also the software that was approved this morning, the sheriff's portion of that expense too. In the sheriff's department, we have spent $1,075,000 more than last year. So even though they're under budget, we have spent more money in there, and a large portion of that is attributable to salary increases. Next category is public health. We have spent $8,846,119, and that, of course, is just right on budget. We have spent, in this category, we have spent $584,000 less than last year. There was really two categories that make up that variance. Is the ambulance. We have spent $282,000 less on the ambulance. in this year. And then the health clinic that was transferred to Grace Med, we have saved $711,000 in that. Next category is administrative services. We spent $9,640,000. That is $826,000 under budget. But we have spent $1,008,000 more than last year. And almost $1 million of that is attributable to the additional $1 million that we put into capital outlay. So without that addition, we would be right on what we spent last year through this time period. There are 3 departments that make up the most of this variance of $826,000. The contingency fund is $766,000 under what was budgeted through this part of the year, but we have 2 items that have been that we know are coming. You have approved $240,000 to be spent for the KP&F payoff, which will be coming, and then also we will have LEC repairs that will be coming in over $200,000 also. So some of that variance will be spent in future months that we know of before the end of the year. The elections office I am showing is $158,000 over budget for what I had estimated through the end of October. And then IT department is $166,000 under what I had budgeted, but you just approved $170,000 approval this morning on that one. Public Works, we've spent $7,599,543. This category is $318,000 over budget, but you know, parks with Public Works, this is just a timing issue. They will not be over budget at the end of the year. This is strictly a timing issue of when projects have been paid. Okay, the next category is Parks and Recreation. It is, we've spent $13,115,000. They are under budget by $580,000, but we have spent $1,035,000 more than was spent this time last year. The Parks and Rec is under budget by this $580,000, but I will remind you that their revenue was also under budget by $422,000. So a lot of times those kind of go hand in hand. When revenue is down, they need, you know, they don't have as much payroll or such either. Okay, and the last category is debt service. We spent $9,923,000, and that is right on budget. Here's our chart that just shows the different categories and kind of shows you which ones we have spent more in than last year, which ones we have spent less in. You can also really see by this chart that public safety is the highest category as far as expenditures. And then here's our pie chart of year-to-date expenditures. 42% of our expenditures were spent on public safety. Public health was 10%, admin services 11%, public works 9%, parks, rec, and expo 16%, and then debt service was 12%. And I will remind you, as I usually do, that the public works of 9% does not include what we spend from the sales tax or from federal dollars or state dollars. I'll also remind you that that even though we have $100 million in revenue and $84 million in expenses, we have received most of our revenue for the year. But on the expense side, we have 2 full months yet to go, and in fact, December has 3 pay periods in it, so those will be higher. So, any questions for me?
No? Questions?
No? Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Next item, please.
Administrative communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz in the Kansas Expo Center. I wanted to give a brief update on the Blizzard Bash that happened nearly 2 weeks ago now. We're very pleased to announce that revenues for that event should be in the 25 to 30% ahead of budget mark. We set records on every revenue stream of that event, whether it be ticket sales, pay-per-view sales, food and beverage sales. And I would also like to note that we took over the marketing for that event as well. So very excited to have that event be so successful. This last weekend, we just wrapped up the first Keisha State High School cheerleading competition for every 1A through 6A school for the state of Kansas. So that went great on Saturday, and then we're looking forward to the load-ins and the preparations starting for the community Thanksgiving dinner that started this morning. Again, that will be Thursday, and that kicks off around 10:30 a.m. on Thursday. Thank you.
Very good.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly.
Commissioners, Tom Black, Public Works, Solid Waste. With this week being the Thanksgiving holiday week, we always have quite a change or some changes or adjustments to our collection schedule for solid waste since the county recognizes Thursday and Friday as holidays. So our changes for collection this week, our Monday and Tuesday customers are actually being picked up today on Monday. Our Wednesday and Thursday customers will be picked up on Tuesday, and then our Friday customers will be picked up on Wednesday with no collections on Thursday or Friday. So it is a big shift for a lot of people. So I just want to get that out. We did send out notification. The city of Topeka is always helps us out in getting notification out on their Nextdoor app and oftentimes on Channel 4. We also send out notification to a media blast. So hopefully, I haven't been watching much of the news this weekend, so I don't know if it got on the news stations or in the paper, but typically it does. But anyway, this is just one more attempt at trying to let everybody know ahead of time that they're most likely going to be affected this week. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Rec. Reminder that Winter Wonderland, the 20th year of it, actually is open to the public starting Wednesday all the way through the end of the year. The last day is December 31st. This is TARC's biggest fundraiser they have. They estimate over 50,000 visitors, 10,000 buses. It's a great event, great family holiday tradition. So and that is all out at Lake Shawnee at the campground. And if you have any questions, I've been part of that. I sat on the first committee back in '98 for this event, so it's come a long ways.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. I'm pleased to note that the first tax statements were mailed over the weekend. I would expect all the tax statements to be in the mail no later than tomorrow and received this week. We don't do this alone in the Treasurer's office, so I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the Clerk's office, the Appraiser's office, the Register of Deeds office, and IT. That's a team of folks that work together every year at this time to get those tax statements out. We were a little later this year because of the St. Francis, as I noted before, but those folks worked really hard to get them out as soon as we could. So Merry Christmas. Tax season is here. First half is due December the 20th, and I will remind you more than once. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Anyone else?
Thank you, Commissioners. I just wanted to make a couple of public comments. First of all, I don't have any idea where Betty is getting her numbers from. 150,000 off is not correct on our budget. I actually printed off the internal system that we use that shows, even by your numbers, which I don't believe are correct, that we're actually up by 21,000. So I have no idea where those numbers came from. So I guess I would just register a public disagreement on that front, that is not an accurate number. Second, I think it's important to note that the County Commission did sign, and we talked about this back in March of this year, a contract. And that contract with ES&S cost the county almost $140,000. So there are significant new expenses related to that do have to be paid, and I said at the time that I would pay them. I don't know why the county chose not to account for those in building its budget, but it did not. And so I've paid those expenses. I do expect that the number that you put together will not work, and I told you that back in March as well. Additionally, as you know, the Attorney General has come out with an opinion that the budget that is set by the County Commission should include the certified budget, and we are nowhere near my certified budget number. So just a couple of details I wanted to mention. And then finally, I wanted to say today that I really thought that the election went well. I was pleased, actually, while the turnout wasn't as high as I had hoped it would be. It was definitely a significant increase, so I was pleased with that. Additionally, I just want to give compliment to the staff and a number of county employees also who helped us on Election Day. So thank you to each of you who have done that. We had between a 3 and 50% turnout at different locations across the county, so there was quite a wide variation in the actual turnout percentages by precinct. And our staff did excellent work, I think, in reporting those results. Were done by about 8:30. So thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good morning again, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. Tomorrow evening at the Topeka City Council meeting, the council will be having their first discussion for the Tobacco 21 ordinance. This is an ordinance that would increase the legal age to purchase tobacco products to age 21 in the city of Topeka. They are using, pretty much, is my understanding, the same ordinance that you all passed on August the 10th. And so I just wanted to make that announcement, and the Health Department is supporting this ordinance. 90% of adult smokers start before the age of 21. So we feel like this is a good public health policy to make it more difficult for adolescents and teenagers to obtain tobacco products. Thank you.
Anyone else? Commissioner Bueller.
I don't think I have anything to announce, but I do have one question. I know that Jim, you are going to the Shawnee County delegation presentations on December 4th, correct? And I wonder, Commissioner Archer, if we're going to have some discussion either at our November 27th or November 30th meeting on legislative agenda. That's just a question.
Yes.
Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. Yes, I will be attending.
Okay. And can we have something on our agenda either Monday or Thursday, again, discussing our legislative agenda? I know we had some discussion at the KAC meeting about what KAC has for their agenda, and we have also, I think, supported some of those. So,
Yes. So
okay.
noted.
All right. Thank you.
Jane. Thank you, Jim.
I don't have anything else. Thank
Okay.
you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Commissioner Cook.
Just noting that the Kansas Association of County Commissioners meeting was very fruitful. There was a lot of good conversation had, a lot of information that was presented, and some ideas to bring back to our county.
Very good. Thank you.
One other thing.
Yes.
At that meeting, we did welcome back the Register of Deeds to Kansas Association of Counties. At one time, they had a separate association, and now they're an affiliate. So I don't think Becky's in the audience, but welcome back. So it was good.
Very good. I had a comment for those of you who look at history. In 2009, when I ran for city council, Lisa Stubbs asked for a hand recount of the ballots. And Elizabeth Ensley was commissioner, elections commissioner at the time, and there were over 3,000 ballots to be hand counted. And the cost there was 9 employees, 4 hours for $250. Last week, we had a close election in USD 450, District A, Position 4, and it was asked of the current elections commissioner how much it would cost to do a hand recount of those ballots. And the elections commissioner indicated that to count 2,100 ballots by hand would take 29 workers, 7 hours, and cost $1,390. I think that says volumes about the operation of our elections office today. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Next item, please.
Executive sessions.
There's not a need, so we're officially adjourned.